Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. Here we go with another beginner guide on exactly what to do on certain scenarios, and let's talk about where to get yourself more pig butts or pig skins. So at the beginning of Don't Starve Together, if you decide to actually play with touchstones, or maybe you don't actually have them enabled, but if you do, you might want to be the first person to approach one. And here's why. As soon as you decide to go up to a touchstone, you're going to be welcomed with somewhat of a little surprise. As flies go and fly around these pig heads, they're basically trying to tell you something, and that is this: smash them up. If you're the first person there and you manage to get yourself a few little things to make yourself a little trusty little hammer, I'd probably recommend being the first one to get these, as I basically always try to rush to do it myself. Essentially, once you retain yourself a hammer, which only requires a few twigs, grass, and a little bit of rocks, which is extremely easy to get, you can smash up said pig head. As soon as you do, it's going to give you 2 twigs and essentially 2 pig skins. And yeah, times what? 4? I mean, that is a pretty good little thing to have right away. I would also recommend actually getting these, because if somebody decides to actually use a touchstone, well, lightning is going to hit them and burn them down. So make sure that you grab them whenever you can. But now that I have myself a pig skin, I can make probably a few different things that obviously somebody else might not be able to make early game. Now, keep in mind, it is required to make an alchemy machine to craft it, but I love to make them, and obviously they're very useful, and none other than the trusty football helmet. Some people might tell you otherwise, but using the pig skins for obviously making another pig house or something like that is also recommended too. So just keep that in mind. If you decide to use them for football helmets, try to make it only temporary if you really need to, unless you have ample amount of actual butts laying around in the world. But if you have limited supplies and you want to get more, well, make yourself an actual pig house. And the pig house is actually made by the same idea, just by creating yourself a nice little pig house. It's using 4 butts, 3 cut stone, and 4 actual things of cut wood. And there you go. Now you have a nice little pig house. Of course, I'm in creative mode, so it's not actually utilizing my pig skins. But just for the sake of showcasing how awesome this little setup is, I would really recommend, if you do find a touchstone, gather them up and make sure that you use them for what they do. What I normally do is, in my world, I probably have 4 or 5 touchstones just by default. I usually use the first 2 set of touchstone pig butts that I find for just helmets, and the rest down the road I eventually use for other things, because these helmets early game are really, really useful. So yeah, I hope you found this video somewhat enjoyable, and I hope that if you have any recommendations or you want to post down in the comments, feel free to let me know what other ways you decide to use it for. But if you're the first one to a touchstone, you might just get yourself a nice little prize that could eventually save your life down the road and Don't Starve Together. And like I said, remember, if somebody decides to use these touchstones, unfortunately the lightning's going to hit it, so just keep that in mind. All right? I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching.